We are unleashing something big. Oh, with the natives.
At what? 411. What was I supposed to say?
This is DNL. You're listening to the Natives 4-on-1 with Geo.
I can't believe how even when I'm at my worst, he will stand with me. I'm always in awe of your glory, my Lord, you got me. So when I fall to the floor, the ground becomes a trampoline. Hey, what up, you're listening to George. Do I say you're listening to George? Geo. Oh, snap. Hey, yo, you're listening. This is Tim, and you're listening to Geo on the Natives. Yeah? 4-on-1. The Natives 4. Hey, look, what up? This is Tim, and you're listening to Geo on the Natives 4-on-1. Is that good? Or do I have to do the whole thing?
This is the Natives 411. My name is Gio, and today we have a special guest on the 411 today, coming all the way from Kopala, and I will also be joined by Abel Black, who's a good friend of mine, and his many other things. So, Danny.
Yeah.
What's good, man? How are you doing?
Good, bro? How are you? I'm okay.
I'm doing good. Nice to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you, bro.
For the very first time.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. I've been following you, listening to the music, and seeing what you're up to, and we want to talk about that today.
Yeah.
So we want to just start this off. So we'll be talking about a couple of things. I mean, your career and just in general, just gospel music and where it is, and where it's going.
Yeah.
And why I want us to have this conversation is because I've been thinking lately, what is my goal as when it comes to music, just thinking, who am I supposed to reach with my music and stuff like that. So as I'm asking those questions, I'm thinking many other people are probably asking the same questions.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I want us to talk about breaking into the mainstream. Breaking into the mainstream.
Very controversial topic.
I don't even know how we define the mainstream, but layman's terms, what is the mainstream for you?
I think, in my own words, this is nothing on social media or in any smart man's book.
Yeah.
But I think the mainstream is basically the world out there.
Yeah.
In my own terms, because I'm thinking about what's like majority of the times when we talk about what's mainstream, it's what's happening and accepted out there.
Yeah.
So in my own words, as I said, times when I've thought of breaking out of a certain comfort zone or a sphere or a place of impact into the mainstream, I'm talking about circles out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you are a gospel artist. What do you feel about being called a gospel artist? I know many people tend to have issues with that, but I'd like to hear from you.
For me, I think the honest truth is right now I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
I don't have any two ways about it, or I don't have any other preference like call me that or call me that other thing.
Why is that? What's your background with regards to your church, your Christian beliefs and your music? What's your background like?
So maybe before I answer that question, there was a season when I reached a point where I had issues with people calling me a gospel rapper or a Christian rapper.
Was it because of the Craig?
Partly because of him, because we all have people we sort of learn from and look up to. And so when he shared his way of doing things and why he was doing what he was doing and why he chose not to be referred to as a gospel rapper or a Christian rapper, it sort of made sense, because I was trying to infiltrate the spheres he was infiltrating, but what I didn't put into consideration is the difference in terms of time and what's happening and what's needed in our country.
Yeah.
And after thinking through it and talking to a few people who are like my support system, after debating with a lot of people, I came to the conclusion I need to ask God what he wants for me, not what Lecrae, I don't want to say what Lecrae wants for me because we haven't even met.
Yeah.
But Lecrae's path is not my path.
Yeah.
I can learn from it, but I shouldn't make it the standard. And so coming to my background and all that, initially I started off as a Catholic. Yeah, and then after I came to the faith, I moved. I started going to Bread of Life in Ndola for a period of time.
Yeah.
And then later on, I moved to Mount Zion Christian Center.
Which is where you are right now.
Yeah, that's where I am right now in Ndola. Yeah, but I'm working and doing school in Kitwe, so there I congregate at Faith Baptist Church.
Okay.
So yeah, at the end of the day, that has also shaped my perspective on the music and the life, and so in no way am I trying to be the churchy rapper. Like, people should just feel like, Baba church. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm not ashamed of being called someone who's affiliated to the faith. That's fine.
Of course, we're gonna go a bit deeper into that conversation. Yeah. But for now, let me ask this: who are you reaching with your music? Because of course, we are talking about what does it take to break into the mainstream, right? But who are you reaching right now?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm reaching people outside the church.
Okay.
And so the music I do sort of sounds evangelistic. So for the people in the church, it's not like it's going to stumble them, but it will reach out to them, not them being reconciled to Christ, but more of changing how they view ministry. Yeah. So it's still impacting them, but not in like an evangelistic way, But for people outside, it makes so much sense because I'm talking about how God has come through for them and how He sent His Son to die for them. And how Jesus came for people like them, people like us, and so that's really my target audience. Not that I don't consider the people in the church, but that's more of my stronghold.
So if that's the case, then I should ask, what platforms have you performed on?
Yeah.
And what's that experience been like? I mean, I'm thinking if you are at a show which is not a Christian show, the response has to be different.
Yeah.
So tell me about that experience and also talk about just what you are seeing in the crowd, even before you step on the stage. Yeah.
That part of the story is crazy. So I've performed on crazy platforms, talk about music festivals, color festivals back in the Copper Belt. Yeah. Because there's a lot of that stuff happening. And also people's shows, I have friends who are considered secular artists, and there are times when they have shows and there maybe a guy is launching his album at CBU or something, and so he calls you up saying, I want you to support me as I do this. And so that's not a Christian show. I mean a Christian show.
Concert,
it's not a Christian concert. People are drinking, people are dressed a certain way, which we might consider indecent, and there's a lot going on. First, it was actually crazy because there was a time I was actually booed off stage.
Oh my gosh. How long ago was that though?
2016.
Why did they do that?
People just didn't vibe with the music.
Is it because it was noticeably Christian?
Yeah, it was noticeably Christian, and at the time, I feel like even for me, I hadn't grown to a point where I'm really understanding how God wants me to do the same music and everything. So I wouldn't blame myself. I was just unashamed and zealous, And when it comes to direction, maybe I didn't have so much direction because.
So do you think that was too early?
No, I think it was the right time. I needed that part of the experience because it really just put me in my place. It's easy to say statements like, this is for God's glory, like I do it for Him. Yeah. But when everyone is clapping, that's like just one of those statements. Yeah. But when you're booed off stage, indeed you remember like, God, this is about you, so it's okay. Yeah. So it was a funny experience, and it was depressing in some way because you're basically telling people about someone who loves them and and maybe it's because of the concept of the song, because the song is sort of blunt truth, like that particular.
Do you remember the lyrics?
Yeah.
You want to spit that a little bit?
Yeah, we can do that.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Munjelele ko mwe bantu mumwena ndela ndafye fishinka bamishinga sana bata lekeni ine mishinge ko fishinka. Hey, truth be told, I'll be labeled a hater for speaking the truth, but the truth is all I know. So forgive me if it pierces you. Demo na mafia ala mwandi wafya sana amachito na batamfya ala bondi kushele fye kafwafwa. Cost of living imudala na ikwela kwati fyeni dola. Business ishalile mubana vale bofya capital vola. Ministry nama politics fyalu ikefye fyabunonsha umuntu ngakwataka fulo kula kushafya umutu eno mukoshi responsibility yena tavaishi wala but kumalanda kanova abango bwali bunda wakubwata gender based violence yalu ikekwati ni game ka abantu balekala kwati finama ama bondi yalu ikama game park dionse makofi nota masamba so tabalala kula lwafye kulibambi ubwalwa menshi vanga masavidi onse kula nwapi.
Okay, so first of all, my name is Tzilla, and it seems like every time we try to record this, it's like somebody has to go do something. Then George wanted me to go and buy some bread, and I don't know. I'm not there yet, in my heart I believe it. It's by His grace, Mama, I made it. God of miracles come. This is the Natives 411 with Gio. Oh, this is Tasha signing out. Peace out, man. Tzilla. Huh. It's Oli, baby. Yo, this is Olivia, and you're listening to the Natives 411. It's the Natives 411. It's the Natives 411 with Gio. I can't say it. Gio. Really?
So now, when you did that, I mean, I'm thinking like, sometimes we think people don't listen to lyrics, but they do.
They do.
Explain why people hear words of hope and they're booing you off stage. Because when I hear that, I mean, it's skill, like very skillful rapper. But people are like, no.
Yeah.
Get off stage, you know.
I could actually get some of the comments because people were like, hello, that we should church, kuno.
Yeah.
And people are just saying all sorts of things. There's people cussing at you in the crowd. And so it was, as I said, it put me in my place.
Yeah.
You know, there are times when you sort of get carried away with everyone saying, that's amazing. Yeah. That's good. Good.
Is that what was happening before you hit that stage?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what was happening. And at that point, those were the first mainstream shows I did, so to say. And it was really just a learning process. And the weird thing is that I think Abel was supposed to come for that show. Abel Chungu, yeah. So, yeah, in terms of advertising, there's just people who don't like it when gospel artists come through for a show that, according to them, is for the secular artists, you know.
Okay, so if we're talking about breaking into the mainstream and you go on a mainstream platform, right? Yeah. And you spit bars and you're talking about Christ. Okay, though the thing is, they could tell. You didn't necessarily say Jesus, but they could tell.
Exactly.
So you are booed off stage. Then you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, if I'm trying to reach these people, maybe I should change my lyrics. Do you think that's what many people are doing to try and hit the mainstream? And
I wouldn't even shoot down people out there. I feel like the first person who did that was just me.
Yeah.
Because I went back and said, so should I say Jesus again?
So doesn't that feel like watering down the gospel? What's your response to that if someone says that?
I'll give a very funny answer. Yes and no. So
let's go with the yes first.
Yes, in the sense that you should never be ashamed to say Jesus.
Yeah.
You should say that anytime you sort of need to, you know, need to remind people that you believe in Him.
Yeah.
And you should never be apologetic about that. But no, in the sense that one can preach the gospel and give people hope or point people to Jesus without sort of just rubbing the name Jesus in people's faces.
Yeah.
You know, so you can go about it in a way that still points them to Jesus, but don't just be at a point where you're removing His name. Let me just remove so that my music can be accepted. Mm-hmm. I feel like for a short period of time, I sort of wanted to do that till I just went back and said, look, I feel like talking about Jesus and what He's done in my life. I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
The people who vibe with the music, vibe with it. Those who don't, it's fine. And I feel like it takes, you just need to be real with yourself, you know, because one can say I'm unashamed and they have Jesus all over their lyrics, but you find that they're still living a life far from that, you know, and we tend to do that as gospel ministers. There are times when I've done that. You know, it's where you're preaching love, but you can't even show love to the person you just maybe meet in the road, or it might be in a bus, or even just in church. You know, you reach and sit and you don't even say hi, you're just in your space. Well, we're doing us, you know, I'm doing me, you know, so it's something crazy. But at the end of the day, I feel like we should strike a balance. One should know when to sort of explicitly get into those truths that are about Jesus, and one should know when to just paint a picture. You might just tell your story, like Jesus saved me, this is what it did in my life.
So if I ask this question like this, so breaking into the mainstream and reaching to that audience that listens to that music that everybody else is listening to, are you saying that using lyrics that may not be explicitly Jesus, but yet striking a balance when you need to, that actually works? So are we saying that could be a tactic to reaching to the mainstream audience? Are we saying that?
It depends with your what you mean by saying it works. Because people accepting it and not having something against it doesn't mean it's working. You know, people, you might sort of dummy down and remove the name Jesus and, I don't know, strike a balance. Sometimes you mention it, sometimes you don't. And then people are cool with it. That doesn't mean you've done what God really wants you to do. So for me, if I'm getting you right, what I mean, maybe for clarity's sake, is in the songs, there's a recent song I did. It's a song called Still Unashamed. So on that particular song, I was basically explicit and I was talking about my stance on the gospel and how Jesus came for broken people and everything. So in that song, when scripting, I wasn't like having doubts, like, should I mention Jesus? Should I? I just went all out. As I was inspired, as I felt like communicating my thoughts, that's how I scripted. And that song is a song I can do anywhere. You know, even like non-believers would vibe, not because I'm not preaching the gospel, but because I've written it in such a way that they clearly get what I'm saying. That Jesus came for everyone, and we're all broken and all that. So I feel like it works in some way, you know, but it shouldn't be a tactic, like, let me remove Jesus or strike a balance, then it will be accepted. It might just not be accepted. And then we'll say it doesn't work, let's find another one. Then we'll keep finding new ways. But I feel like the only way is you preaching the gospel and talking about Jesus, you know, because that's what it's about.
Divine peace only when you're beside me, and it is so surprising how you're still holding tightly.
Hey yo, what's up? This is Pompey, the African Eagle, and you are listening to the Natives. Hey yo, what's up? This is Pompey, and you're listening to the Natives 411 with Gio. I wanted to say this is Gio.
Only God can be your blesser.
Hey yo, it's your boy Microphone 7M7 New Sun, and this is the Natives 411 with your boy GEO. What up?
So what are some of the fundamental things for you? I mean, you're an artist, right? You want to reach out to people, whether those people are in the church or not in the church, right? What are some of the fundamental things for you when it comes to, if this is happening, then I'm okay? What I mean is, what do you look at to say my music is impactful? Because I'm thinking that every time I hear someone talking about breaking into the mainstream, it usually sounds more like becoming as famous as Bobby is, and people like you the way they like him, you know. People are dreaming about being the next Chef 187, you know. So in the instance that you would sit down and look at your music, how do you know, like, what are some of those fundamental things you want to see in your music to know that you are on the right path, you're doing the right thing?
Okay, for me, I think I look at it in one way. I want the music I do. First of all, it's a platform, eh?
Yeah.
When I'm on stage or when I write a song and people listen to a song on radio or they download it, I still want them to feel good and turn up whatever vibe I gave the song.
Yeah.
I want it to have that impact artistically because it's an art. You know what I mean? So if it's a song that's up-tempo, it's a song that can get them to dance, they should dance. Then artistically, I've done my part.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it doesn't end there. And I feel like for most artists, that's where it ends. You know, artistically, the multi-syllable rhymes are on point, you know, the metaphors, everything's on point, your delivery is on point, and you've done an amazing song and people dance, you know, in clubs, everywhere, even the Christians sometimes, you know, and yeah, you've done a good job. And I give people credit where it's due. There are people who do well, you know, when it comes to that. But for me, it doesn't end there. There's another side of the story. I want to remind people about things that really matter. I want to point them to God. You know, I want to tell stories that encourage them. You know, I want to rebuke sometimes and just tune out people. There are times when I'm in that space, when I have something to say. Yeah. You know, there are times when I'm very emotional and soft. I want people to get to dig into that side of me also. So for me, I get to know that I've really glorified God or I've made an impact when the second part of the coin is like at play also. You know, if people listen to a song where I'm talking about my past and how different things affected me and how God came through for me, if someone out there is given hope, then I'm making an impact and I'm glorifying God. If I tell a story about love in a way that it glorifies God or it helps people love each other in a way that glorifies God, then I'm making an impact. You know, I'm changing how people perceive love in a society where maybe people are broken, people are cheating, people are doing this, people are doing that. And if I give a song that paints a better picture or a good picture on a certain topic, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So for me, that's how I weigh it, you know, and obviously I go back to God. And there are times when He gives me peace and it's like the Holy Spirit also just speaks to me and tells me that I've done a good job. And there are times when I'm rebuked. I step on stage and I just turn up with the people, don't say anything irrelevant, you know, and I get off stage and I'm reminded that, oh, so you gave a good show, but you didn't say anything relevant, you know. So yeah, I always go back to God and question myself why I did something, how I did it, was it effective, you know, was it still pointing people to Christ or it just ended on Danny TSG, you know. So yeah.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I have Danny TSG on the show today. This is the Natives 411 and I'm your host, Gio. Now, we are going to talk about, in part 2, we're going to talk about collaborations with mainstream artists. You have collaborated with some. Of course, you've mentioned you've been on the stage, the mainstream stage, and we're going to talk about that. And what does collaborating with a non-Christian artist look like for you? And why have you done it? Why might you continue to do it? We're going to talk about that. And also, I would want people to know just where are you going to be more? The stage you're going to be more on, is it the one that's in the church or outside the church? So we're going to talk about that in part 2, and I'll be joined by Abel Black, and maybe we might have another special somebody on the show. So before we leave, I want to play a song from your project, one particular song that we can play from there. So just tell us about that quickly and one song we're going to play on this show.
Okay, so from the new project?
Yeah.
I would like you to play In Love.
In Love.
Yeah. So why? Because on this particular song, I was trying to help people see that this journey comes with pressure. So I'm not alone in this journey. God has given me room to walk this journey with someone. So yeah, this is a person I've committed to and I intend to settle down and marry them sooner or later.
Yeah.
We are
gonna come.
Special guest Shan performance. So that particular song paints a picture on the struggles that I've faced. You know, where you go to to certain places, and there are females who sort of don't respect you, whether or not you're Christian, they would still want to kick it. You know, they still want to chill with you, or they still want to just be some type of way with you, and they don't respect the fact that you have someone. So there are times when my lady has had to just remind me, like, I don't like how that person talks to you, or how that person texts you. So we have a relationship that's open, so she can check my phone anytime and everything. And so on this particular song, I was trying to show people that we equally go through such struggles, and we have to remind each other to still serve each other and honor each other in a way that reflects the image of God. Right. So, and it's not only for the single guys. I brought a married man to like share some thoughts on the project. Yeah.
Awesome. So that has been Danny TSG. This has been the Natives 411, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time. Yeah.
Until next time.
As a man, your business is how you treat your woman, and as a woman, her business is how she treats you. Not just focus on how you treat her and make sure it's right. She should do the same, and you'll be all right. And now that I'm speaking like this, so I can only speak for you. What I'll say is, since you're the artist and you're the one pulling her into this world of yours where she has to be around many artist friends, all sorts of crowds, you make sure you make her feel comfortable. It's your responsibility.
You give me good vibes, I feel good when I'm with you. Don't you stress about my exes, they just tryna be you. It's crazy how they roll their eyes every time they see you. But don't you worry, to you alone I will be true. I love you, the scars you got to me are only beauty marks. I got you, in the midst of darkness I'll be luminous. I'm in love with you, my baby, I'm in love with you. You're the best, I can never get enough of you. Even when I fight with you, I'll do my best to fight for you. No time for lies, I'll bring the truth to you like a Bible do. Yeah. Tell him I'm the man doing life with you. Got me off the hook like Peter Pan. Hey, that doesn't mean it's gonna be easy. Rainy days finna come and we gon' fight, believe me. We gon' make it even through the worst of days. When rainy days come, all we need to do is have hope and faith. Hey.
The other basic thing is just love each other. Nothing beats love. You're a Christian, you know. Obviously this is taught to you every Sunday. Use that principle of love and you'll be alright. Everything is contained within love, forgiveness, endurance, and being patient. Everything that people say needs to be in a marriage, love has already. People say, wait, is that your love? Is that your love? And what? No, love has everything. If you really study what love is, and in the end, love is Christ, as they say, and Christ is love. So practice that. I know you are like two unique individuals who will make this work as long as you love each other. Love is not a corny thing. Love is what really holds everything together. Even the Bible itself says Jesus holds everything together. It's through him that everything holds together. And in the end, Jesus is love. So if you translate that or really study what love is, you'll find that it really is the solution and it really is the pillar on which marriage leans. So all the best, man.
You heard it first right here. This is real, it's raw, it's hot, and it's happening.
www.thenatives.com.
Let every nation know